Alright folks, I've actually got a bit of a good gameplay here today, a bit of a TK, a little bit of fun, but this is actually the best match I've ever had in my Pensacola, not past beta, as I've taken on a Congo in beta, but that's beside the point, and let's see what we got. Alright folks. Right now we got a nice little battle going on here. It's going to be me and my Pensacola, Camplin and Atlanta, and Honky and the Sims. Now this is actually a pretty bit of an interesting match. The first little bit I'm sure I'll probably get reported a little bit on, but that's okay. Bear in mind any team damage that I do in game matches or anything in the sense is between me and Honky and Camplin, and I almost never, and I'm not going to say I never have team damage to anybody, but I don't do it to anybody other than my friends. And after all, what's our friends for? Honky, I'm going in dry. That being said, this is actually a replay from the 5th of December, and we get started off, and yeah, here we go.
Enemy force detected.
It's nice when the alarm clock goes off in the background, isn't it? How I don't turn pink in most of my days, I don't know. But yeah, just screwing around a little bit from the get-go, and I'll try to let y'all know when I go to the third-person camera, because right now I'm still following the initial camera for this replay. We're just screwing around at the bit of the beginning of this match, as we're pretty much in the view of we're all going to die, we're going to die, and as you can kind of see, most of the team, for the most part, is kind of halfway lemming training straight towards Delta. I mean, it seems to be a commonality on the Two Brothers maps. The team from the north will either go for A or D, and almost purely the other team will go for the other. As of this point, I'm pretty much sure that I'm not going to have any paint left on this ship. It's pretty much at this point I'm starting to decide whether or not, I want to go towards Alpha, as absolutely nobody on our team has gone towards Alpha, and if we don't kind of lay those ships in hold, keep them at bay, they're going to go after our carrier. And there's already a destroyer on Alpha, and I guarantee you he's running flat out. Now, granted, there's also a destroyer over here on Delta, but I mean, a single destroyer can still wreak havoc on a carrier, especially the fact that we're running a Saipan, and they've got to hear you. Now, I'm just trying to push him into the rocks here, and we're going to ignore that little fact. Because right about this point, we decide, okay, time to put the man pants on. Time to stop screwing around. Time to get to work. Because it's at this point, noticing that York and the Amagi coming around. I see the Ognivoy, the other cruisers and the other battleships coming around on Delta. However, they seem to be backing around, kind of going away. It's kind of about this point, I guess you could say, it's a little bit half of stupid and a little bit half of crazy. I mean, do you go headlong into the enemy? Let's see how it works. I mean, most people go into Pensacola and go like this, and it goes bad. But, kind of like one of the things I sit there and try to get Camplin to understand. In the American ships, you want this thing to dance. You want these ships to swing. You want these ships to dance. And you basically don't want to get hit. Now, I do set the Baron on fire right there, and he ain't happy. I'm guilty of firing lots and lots of salvos. it's only pretty much in the Atlanta and the Cleveland that you'll see me actually single the rounds out. Or not single the rounds, but single the turrets out. Now I've got a Natago, or sorry, a Takao. My apologies. Pretty much a Natago. But a Takao, a Dunkirk, and this Nuremberg up ahead. I look back to see where those torps are coming from, because as you could hear in the background, it says torps incoming. Let's watch how this plays out a little bit, and I'll give you a little bit of commentary along the way. Dunkirk here is pretty much laying into beating on this one. However, he's keeping his ship angled pretty well to keep his forward batteries where they can fire on us. And if you manage to get close enough, you're going to have to deal with those rear batteries, which all of the big batteries on the Dunkirk or all her big secondaries are on the back end of the ship. Now, I've actually got a destroyer over here to my right. I'm sorry. Yeah, a destroyer over here on my right that's actually pissing me off by shooting over the island towards me. Now, with the flat trajectory that the Pensacola usually fires at, it kind of is a pain trying to hit back. Now, one of the things you'll notice here that I will miss a lot of shots. And that's like that. But I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, this is an interesting battle. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to shut up here and let you watch. A good solid hit there on the Takao.
Anti-aircraft gun crews are on normal alert.
I'm gonna switch to third person here. Now I didn't quite turn it as well as I should have there, but as you can see, I'm sitting here kind of trying to dodge fire from 3 ships at once while keeping the guns on the Takao, and I'm doing pretty good. The Nuremberg's hosing at me. I'm almost in, and I take out this cow with a nice, wonderful citadel. Now, this Dunkirk here is actually almost in secondary range to me. And as you're going to see, his secondaries are about to open up on me, and that's going to hurt. Because right about here, he takes a nice, wonderful hit. Now, if I had managed to actually get in secondary range, and I know I was saying I was going to, but I was wrong. If I had managed to get into secondary range, Dunkirk could do quite a bit of damage. But the fact of the matter is, I had a Amagi, actually 2 Amagis, and a York backing me up, along with the rest of my team. And I take out the Nuremberg there with a nice, wonderful another citadel as his last few rounds come in. And I take out a spotter plane. I do believe that was from the Dunkirk that went down a minute ago. Going back to the main camera on here, there was a cruiser that went down our center line as long with a destroyer. The destroyer was the one that went down the last. No, I take that back. The other 3 ships were the ones that went around. My apologies, my apologies. That destroyer that went down the center, I do believe was the Ognavoy, Sable Drake. And Edom's going to get mad later. And I'm going to see if I can get this in this video. Because I'm going to be honest with you, each time I've seen this, I can't exactly pinpoint what exactly happened. And I'm not going to tell who, but it was it should have been more interesting than it was, but yeah.
Problem solved, sir.
Now, I'm sitting here opening up on this Nagato here. His rounds inbound towards me. As you can see, I'm turning as best I can. That makes sure that he can't hit me. Now, what I didn't realize was his rounds would have fell short. But ideally, you want to be long-wise to one of these battleships anyways. Camplin begins opening up from the Atlanta over here as Honky starts steaming in from the side. And Atlanta can put down quite a bit of pain. Oh, is that going to hit him? Is that... He takes a nice little salvo. Not a devastating strike, but pretty big hit. Let's see if I can get a better view. Now, coming around this island on this other side, I'm not going to have any hits. And I do believe I have a few rounds that might hit. No, I completely miss. And you gotta love that Atlanta. Ding, 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 ding. Going back to the main camera on the main view off of me. As you can see, this is pretty much where I play from. And Honky takes him out with the torps. Now, where could that carrier be? You know, we got their cruiser, oh, I'm sorry. We got that 2 battleships and the destroyers over there on above D. As my alarm clock goes off again. My apologies, folks. Where is that carrier? And now I'm detected. I'm detected by a ship. And at this point, I kind of feel that there might be a destroyer over here that has doubled back. And looking at the map, I see the one over there on the D10 line, but I don't see the other destroyer. Oh wait, he's dead. Now here's a question. What is spotting me? It could only be that carrier, but I don't see the carrier. Do you? Oh, there he is. I get a salvo out. I don't believe it's going to actually connect, but it might. I do manage to get a couple of hits on him, though. For some reason, there's a little bit of a bug in this replay. I can't track the shells. Let's go to third person right here and see if I can track the shells. Now, he's launching aircraft. Yeah, I've still got this cruiser here. I've got Camplin that has doubled back. Camp and Honky have actually doubled back. Me and this York are going to pound this Hiryu. I begin turning hard to port as I see these torpedo bombers coming in. Anybody that knows anything about warships or World Warships, now I could have dodged that. That was my fault right there. If I had continued the turn instead of trying to straighten out, I could have dodged that torp. And I could have lived later on if, oh, my bad. Spoiler warning. Post-mortem spoiler warning. Rounds out on the Hiryu. And I hit him. Now, I believe at some point, like right about here, I set him on fire. Yes, there we go. Now he can't land and he can't launch fighters. Now, the thing is, he repairs. So, not being able to set him back on fire just for a second or so, you still want to continue the fire. On these carriers, now I've set him on fire. He's already used that damage control ability. So him getting fighters in the air is actually kind of pointless. Now, it's about this point in time, I swapped to AP to go for this kill. You see those little white tracks in the water, though? Can I beat them? Nope.
Our victory is in sight.
Now, okay, now it's down to 3 ships versus 6 ships. We have the advantage with having a Saipan, Atlanta, Pensacola, York, Molotov, and a Sims versus 2 battleships, a North Carolina and a Magi, and a Leningrad. We have no battleships, but we got 4 cruisers. And what's to put money on how this goes down? Because I wasn't really expecting this one. And Honky's, I do believe, about to have a bad day. He's getting secondary fire from this. Oh, he got taken out by North Carolina, actually on the opposite side. It was not the Amagi that took him out. Now opening up on this Amagi. Camplin's not going to last much longer over here. He's taking hits, and I do believe he actually ran aground. Rounds coming in from the South Carolina, North Carolina to Camplin over there on Beached Island. I do manage to get a few hits on the Amagi over here, though. And Camplin gets taken out. Now this other destroyer is coming back around from Delta. What was 6-3 is now 4-3. I managed to set the Amagi on fire. Now I'm going to go back to my normal play view for the simple fact of this is going to be interesting. You're going to see exactly how I play this. Now, my rounds were actually over on that one. Should have dropped them a little bit lower. I might have been able to set the Amagi on fire. I noticed rounds coming in. Why am I invisible? My apologies for that, folks. It seems to be a bug with the replay. If you're still in the actual ship's view and you hit space, or not space, but shift, it'll bring up the it'll bring up the chart, and you can kind of see. It's about this point in time that I had notified the York that we need to turn away and get away from these battleships, as our team is sitting there telling us this. Now, what was 6-3 is now down to 3-2. The Amagi had managed to get taken out, and, well, this North Carolina's beating down on me and the York. Managed to take out the York. Because about that point in time, I turned and ran. Now, I'm going to go to third-person view here. It's not much different than the main view that I was playing off of, because as you can see, I'm just not zooming in on this guy. I'm keeping him in third person. I am swinging the ship. I've got a teammate screaming at me to stop shooting, that way I won't get spotted. But, yeah. Okay, going to the third person view. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna be nice, that way we can just see the beauty of this little fight here. Now, part of my problem I'm gonna have is about what you see right here. You know, you can see me swinging back and forth, you can see me straighten out in little bits and whatnot. That way he can't get a clean shot on me. But if you straighten out at some point and just sit there, it doesn't do you any good, now does it? Now there's rounds coming out, and as you can see, right here is where I screw up. And that was just painful. And I'm going to actually spectate off and see if I can go ahead and go over on this other side. Now, our carrier actually takes out the other destroyer. And I swap over to this Molotov over here. Now, the thing that's kind of interesting, though, is Edom the whole time is sitting there saying about the guy that TK'd him. Well, TK, I don't see that happen. Because the Saipan took him out. Now, I don't know if he did any damage to him or not. But Saipan took him out. Now, it's going to end out this battle here. There's just nothing this North Carolina can do to win. Remember, folks, if you enjoyed the show, if you will, give me a like and a subscribe, and until next time.